It's Scrappy Kathy, and I'm doing the Mixed Media Frenzy Hop. It's a Halloween-themed Hocus Pocus hop, and I'm combining that with day 30 of Erika Breslin, otherwise known as California Lucky's 31 Days of Spooky Scraps. So they fell on the same day. I decided, since they're both Halloween themed and I had no real restrictions on story or design, I thought I'd combine them. So the photos I'm using are these three of my granddaughter Katie, and I've got to keep my die cuts there. These are some photos of her. I love both of them, with makeup being done for her to look like a cat. And this was obviously many years ago. I think that was maybe 2010, so she would have been 8. And this is makeup that she did herself on half her face, and those are my... in fact, these are my paints, my crafting paints that she used. And those are my bling jewels that she put on her eyebrow. And she did this about, I want to say, 4 years ago. And she's she's majoring in cosmetology, so as you would guess. So I just thought that was kind of a good then and now kind of group of photos. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to arrange them, but I kind of want this out to one side, and then I have some things that I die cut from some scraps on my Vicky Booten Storyteller. This came from Storyteller as well, and I kind of hate not to use it as a journaling block, but I think I have another set of that, another pack of that coming in a kit, and so I can use it for its intended purpose then. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to work on the background. I've already done a smudge, but that's not going to matter, I think, in the long run. I'm using this stamp today, and I like the kind of crosshatch lines that are there, the circles that can kind of be filled in, the scripty stuff and the print stuff and the stars. I mean, this is just an amazing stamp. And I'm going to try using it in a little bit different way. Now, it looks like it's, I'm using it sideways. This I'll just turn the paper over. I did this so that it would be easier to show on camera what I'm doing to it. Instead of getting a really vivid black image all the way around, I'm going to kind of randomly apply the ink with this foam dauber, and I'm expecting that in some areas it'll be a lot darker and clearer than others. In some areas it might even be kind of grayed out. So I'm just going to leave that there. I definitely want those cross hatches in there, so I'll do that. And I've got a bunch of other stamps over here that I'm going to overlay this one with. I'm going to get up now and kind of press that. It's a rubber stamp, and it's nice and thick and spongy. So it didn't really come out as vividly in places as I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'll take the ink pad and directly hit some areas, not all of them. So again, I'm hoping this gives me a little bit of variety in terms of image clarity. I got a little too much variety, and I noticed right in here it was not very, it hadn't come through very well. So, okay, this is kind of what I had in mind. So, you'll see what I'm going to do where the images didn't come out very well. So, I'm going to use normally I wouldn't worry about cleaning the stamp, but this one is so big that just handling it kind of I'd prefer for the ink to be cleared off. Okay, so now I'm going to take the paper out of my MISTI and turn it the way I want it to be. And you could actually turn that stamp any which way, because if you'll see, love runs this way. With it this way, you can read love. You can also read it that way. See, if you had it, I could actually do it that way as well. I have in mind that I'm going to mount everything on kind of a vertical line, so I'm leaving it vertical. I have this set of this set of Bow Bunny stamps. These are wall-to-wall textures, is what they're called, and this one is circular textures stamp. So I'm going to use both of those, and I have a variety of Distress Oxides out here. I'm going to overlap with just a little bit of yellow, kind of right in here, that honeycomb. And similarly, except going a different way, right there. And I think that's the last I'm going to use of the honeycomb. So I'll clean it up and put it back here. I'm kind of paying attention to putting stamps back because I'm going to be organizing stamps as part of my organizing project at some point. Maybe next week, maybe week after. I'm just going to kind of do this, kind of run it across there. And I'll do another one maybe this way. Okay. And I'm just randomly, I have no secrets to share about how I choose these places. Right now, I've done the basic background stamp. And now I'm kind of adding accents to it. And the first few kind of dictate where I might use the rest. The circles are going to come last, and there will be some circles there that in kind of, I'm going to try to overlay some of the circles that didn't stamp out too well. This, I thought, could go, let's kind of make that, put that in there. And the more layers I add of stamps, the more texture, overall texture, it's going to add. And I have to trust that where I put a certain stamp is right, is good. This is a small solid, whereas these honeycombs were open. These are some small solid honeycombs, and I'm going to kind of do them let's see, I've used that color ink before, so I want to use them in a place that I haven't used that color. So let's try over here, and I'm gonna, let's do that. Okay. And they're kind of coming out in distress form. They're not full bore solid stamps, and that's kind of what I wanted. I've got this stamp, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I will kind of randomly place it on the ink and then kind of press it on with my fingers so that it looks very distressed and incomplete. So I love how that came out because it's got several different shades of the color. I would pay money for that kind of image. I guess I have. Okay, I like that. I would buy a pattern paper that had that design on it. Okay, so we're done with these wall-to-wall textures, and now I'm going to go to work with circles. I've got to put that there. I'm going to start with this circles within circles, and I'm going with the yellow, the mustard seed. And I'm going to kind of overlay the black and intentionally picking stamps that are either the same, black circles that are either the same size or smaller. Those two. And I know that some of these may get lost over the, when I put the photo in. Let's see, I like the, have I used carved pumpkin? Let me go with a different circle. I kind of like this dotty one. And we'll do carved pumpkin. And I'm gonna go right there. And here. And here I'm going to go outside the circles. We'll go there. And they're kind of overlapping. Okay, I'm beginning to get to the point where I might say, let me try some dried marigold in a different stamp. Maybe a larger circle. And I can overlap some of the others. This dried marigold is a, let's see, put all those aside there. It's kind of a lighter color, and it kind of works for right there. It's a little different kind of pattern. I want to leave that as it is. Let's go with this one that way. And I'll do one outside the boundaries here, and maybe another, maybe right there. Okay, so I think that's all the stamping I'm going to do. I will do some ink sprinkles. Let me get I've got an orange shimmer spray, and I've got in my Mr. Huey's inks, I've got several different colors of orange, including this pumpkin pie that may actually be brown. This has actually, or pumpkin spice. It's not at all the color I thought, but it's not out of place on here. I wonder if that means that's spoiled and if all the oranges are brown. Let me pull another one out. Okay, this doesn't look brown. That looks okay. Okay. And with that one, I may not need this one, but this one is a really bright, pretty orange, and it's got a metallic shimmer to it, so I want to include it anyway. Okay, let me push the stamps out of the way, and I'm going to let it dry a little bit. I'm actually going to let me do something right now. I want to ink the edges, and this ink pad has, or this foam inker has been in my gathered twigs, which I use to ink edges of things, but I think I'm gonna go with, well, let's go with ripe persimmon. And I'll do that and kind of do this in a way. And all this is kind of letting that dry a bit. And then, and it may, as I kind of tilt it a bit, there may be some dripping that occurs, which would not hurt my feelings at all. So I kind of want this to have a sort of messy, inky, mixed media kind of look. And what I'm trying to accomplish is a Halloween feel without using any Halloween supplies. There's nothing here other than the photos that would hint of Halloween. Okay, now let me again put this aside, and I'm going to try to assemble what I can of the photo cluster. And I have die cut some leaves in this yellow color. I've got this border, the kind of torn notebook edge border. I've got some leaves. This is the side that I actually die cut, but I've got kind of a brown and black bit. I've got these loose leaves, and these are Tim Holtz skeleton leaves, and these leaves and this guy and this are bramble fox dies. So let's see how we can arrange this. I know if I have that way, I want her eyes closed and then her eyes open. And I can kind of mount them that way. Let's see if that works. I'm going to use my stapler to kind of hold that in place. And I'm going to leave it so that it shows. Do I want to slide that under there and kind of move it out? I like that idea. here and here. And then this can go kind of like that. And it looks like they just sort of fell there in that order. And then I can work the embellishments around. And as you can see, I have some ink on my hands. And these are probably photos that I don't really want to get inky. So, let me get some foam, and this may be my last sheet of foam. I've been using scraps for a couple days while I wait for my order to come in, and I just got a notice a little bit ago that it has been delivered. So I'm going to put it all the way down. Here, and I'll just have it in the middle in case I tuck anything in these sides. Okay, and let's see how this is working. We're getting to the point, actually, I think I might like to get this dried. So that I can get this placed. Now, I'm probably going to do it right down the middle and let these things show on the side. And so there are some little open areas that kind of show, and that's where I'll tuck in some embellishments. And I'm going to have some journaling that talks about, just for the 31 days, my prompt is costumes. And I thought I might have some journaling talking about how in May her costume was a cap and gown for her drive-by graduation. Okay, I think I'll put that there. That doesn't really obscure the mixed media underneath it. And actually, I think the things that I put in will probably glue that down. So let me get a little glue on here and kind of stick that out there. And I've got this one, which I can layer up under. Oops, oh no, no. So maybe I should use some glue on this and get it anchored down. The little bit of glue that I use should dry fairly quickly. So let me pull that out. That actually stuck. Let me get this. Okay, now glue on here, and I'll place it in a little bit different place. Okay, there, and I'm going to do this down here. Let that come out. I've got this, which I'm going to use on the other side, the reverse side. It was a feather print pattern paper. And I used, the little lines look really good on the leaves. Okay, I'm gonna do this as a leaf kind of pointing down, because there's a bit of that I always die cut from scraps. And this one, the scrap ran out before the die did. And this, I thought I could maybe tuck up under here. Now that I look at it, and where I stapled, that's not going to work. So maybe here, or yeah, because this has the kind of offsets, I need a straight area for it. So, and I could use a pop of the yellow paper over here. We just kind of sneak it in under there, and it's going to show in some places and not in others. And that's okay. It'll show in those flower centers. And it actually almost looks like part of the stamping there, I think. Okay, this is, and I think these skeletal leaves kind of look, Halloweenish, maybe is the word I'm looking for. And there's a little bit of of the underneath of the background that you can see with them. As I do this, I realize that I'm covering up one of those crosshatch designs in the stamping that I tried so hard to. And can we see any of it? Little tiny bit right over in here. Well, that's kind of the way it goes, right? Anyway, my journaling is going to talk about the different costumes that she has worn in 2020, including the one she'll be wearing on Halloween night, which is her work uniform. And she's quite the grown-up young lady. She's 20 years more mature than she was a year ago. And I think graduating and dealing with the changes of COVID has done some of that. And working and driving herself to work and being responsible for car insurance and paying her dad back for the car and paying him some rent, things like that. Okay, so title. I have no earthly idea what this title is going to be. I'm going to go hunt for something. I'm going to actually pick I'm going to pick this, and if I can't find a title in here, I won't have a title. Currently, is that good? Lovely. How about lovely? And this little camera. I think I need this camera. This camera needs to be on this layout. Does it need to be over here on top of the yellow, or right here? Maybe. Oops, it stuck to the photo. Maybe here. Where do I want this guy? Maybe right there is good. And then currently, maybe down kind of along here. Or lovely. Let's do lovely. It's a shorter word. And it is as long as my journaling kind of sticks to the theme of costumes, I think lovely is okay as a title. I don't need to reference the theme in my title, as long as the journaling does. So I'm gonna leave that there. Is there anything else I could use here? I like this little cutout heart, and that kind of goes with the theme. And I like this leaf sprig. Let's try that. That's gonna stand out. But I have a couple different types of leaf sprigs. This one and this one. And this might actually kind of look nice worked in to this grouping. And I'll layer it under. And I'll let it kind of stick up. I'm not going to stick it down entirely. Okay, so I'm happy with it. I will do my journaling, and I'll figure out a place to put it. I may end up putting it somewhere up there, but I'm done. I'm happy with it. It's a Halloween layout without a single Halloween sticker or paper. All the papers and this embellishment are from the Vicki Boutin Storyteller line. The stamps are obviously not Halloween stamps. They're just, it's just kind of a generic mixed media stamp that has all kinds of goodies on it. So I'm happy with the outcome. I hope you've enjoyed the process, and happy Halloween. See you tomorrow. Bye.